For breakfast, I always like to try and start out my day with some porridge or oatmeal, depending on what you call it. I usually use a non-flavored one, and I like to add almond milk as opposed to regular dairy. And then after I stick that in the microwave for 2 minutes, I stir it up, and once I've stirred the oatmeal and it's cooled down a little bit, I like to add some cinnamon for flavor. And then I stir that in again as well. And then after that, I like to add coconut flakes as well as chia seeds, just to add a little extra nutrition and make the porridge a little bit more interesting. And then because it is unsweetened, I do like to add some honey to it as well, just to give it a little bit of sweetness, because I do have a really big sweet tooth. And I like to try to have this every morning, especially on the days that I'm going to the gym, so usually Monday through Thursday and sometimes on Friday, because it does keep me really full, and the oats give me a lot of energy to burn while I'm at the gym. Once I come back from the gym, I always like to have a protein shake, and I usually like to add a banana to this, as well as vegan protein powder, which I started using when I was back in the States, because I noticed I was having a lot of allergic reactions to the regular types with the wheat in it. So ever since then, I've kind of just stuck to this one, and I usually like to do either chocolate or vanilla. This time I did chocolate. And again, I use almond milk instead of regular dairy milk, just because I like the flavor better, and I try not to eat too much dairy. After I add a scoop of that in, I just blend it up in my NutriBullet, and you are good to go. Usually about an hour later, I'm kind of hungry, so I like to make a frozen fruit smoothie. I usually use bananas and strawberries, and then I use All Pro yogurt, which is a non-dairy plant-based yogurt, which I really like. And I will add about half a cup of fruit and then a few scoops of the yogurt, and then I top that off with almond milk so that it's not too thick and it's still a drinkable consistency. This is just super good and fresh, and definitely helps you get your fruit in for the day. For lunch, I keep it pretty basic. I usually toast a couple pieces of bread, throw on a ripe avocado, and smash it into the toast. And then I like to add cayenne pepper for some spices, as well as to help with my metabolism and my immune system. Always gotta get that cayenne pepper in there. And then I use about 3 pieces of turkey, depending on how I'm feeling, or sometimes it's just 2. Next, I add a little bit of mustard, and that is about it. Lately, I've been primarily eating seafood, so either some type of fish or shellfish, and salmon is one of my favorite ones. So I love to do a garlic, lemon, herb salmon that I bake for about 15 to 20 minutes, depending on how hot your oven is. And of course, you have to get your greens in there. So this time, I decided to do broccoli. Broccoli is probably one of my favorite vegetables to do, and it's just so easy to cook. So while the salmon's cooking, I boil some water and I toss the broccoli in there. And then usually by the time the broccoli is done boiling, the salmon is all done and you are good to go. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I hope you enjoyed this video.